The pandemic has impacted virtually all aspects of our lives. Some developments have been sudden and involuntary, such as social distancing, wearing masks, stopping public transport, restrictions on travel, and so more and so forth. Many businesses have been hit hard by the pandemic, especially those with non-essential goods like luxury items. And to survive, many have decided to readjust their business models in order to get their products closer to their customers. Um, the COVID-19 lockdown due to the pandemic is making dimensions of consumer behavior more complex. For example, since physical movement is restricted, consumers are migrating into virtual worlds at a high rate and exposed to newer influences. Um, Customers' digital experiences, according to industries, are creating expectations insurers must meet. Um, for example, now the e-commerce sector has responded rapidly to the challenge of creating positive experiences in responding in response to the pandemic. For example, companies have invested in logistics, supply chains, and widened their product ranges. This is to attract large numbers of consumers during this pandemic. So, how is the consumer behavior changing? Number one, due to the lockdown, people are shifting to digital platforms for day-to-day needs. Out of necessity, uh, consumers have adopted to using several new technologies and their applications, for example, Zoom video services, just to keep up with their family and also friends, carry out virtual meetings with their workmates. Of course, it also has extended to the education sector, which has resulted into schools and institutions training students online through virtual classes. Um, there's also been increased use of technology for shopping online through e-commerce, entertainment, and more. Another consumer behavior that has come in as a trend, it's health. Due to the lockdown, consumers have focused their resources on health by purchasing essential items to fight COVID-19, like sanitizers, local herbal remedies, like in the country Uganda, COVIDX, hand wash, immunity boosters, which some companies have decided to focus their effort in providing that it will benefit the health sector due to high demand. For example, Uganda Breweries, which focuses mainly on making alcohol brews, offered to manufacture sanitizers on a large scale, since the largest consumers of its products and bars and events were closed. Another consumer trend is entailed around personal care and food products. Um, Due to the lockdown, consumers are focusing on personal care and food products that are essential for their survival during the pandemic. Consumers are now looking out for foods that have high nutritional value to enable them boost their immunity against the COVID virus. In really poor communities, consumers are focusing on hoarding large stocks of food to avoid getting affected by the increasing prices of food and stockouts due to high demand. So businesses that deal in non-essential foods like beverages and ice cream are falling down the graph, especially now the other businesses that deal in jewelry, non-essential goods are really falling down. Uh, Consumer behavior is also entailed around loyalty of customers. If you realize, before the lockdown, consumers had varieties of products and favorite brands they could choose from different manufacturers. Now that consumers are focusing on products which are affordable with more value for their purposes, uh, the products that have been coming into varieties and that have less use have been affected so much. So the consumers have decided to stick to products that they have always been loyal to, in order to avoid the risk of purchasing products they have little knowledge about, and also that has also been increasing the brand loyalty. There's also been new habit formations. Due to the lockdown, most public places have been closed, like malls, bars, shopping centers. Consumers are now adapting to a new habit of getting comfortable, doing things at home, like entertainment, online shopping, and carrying out banking transactions. This may be a common trend by the consumer in the future, even after the lockdown has been lifted. And soon businesses will be tweaking their models in order to catch up with a new consumer trend. And I think those are the reasons why, some of the factors that you can look at that affected the consumer behavior lately. Thank you so much.